For this activity, we'll review some words from geometry. First, a quadrilateral is a four-sided figure. That's any flat two-dimensional shape that has four sides. There are many shapes that fit into the category of quadrilateral, including square, rectangle, rhombus, and many other shapes. David Smith is an artist who used quadrilaterals quite a lot. He was a sculptor, and rather than using clay or wood or bronze to make his sculptures, he actually welded together huge, flat sheets of metal. In the 1960s, David Smith made a huge series of sculptures that he called cubi. Each one of these sculptures was made up of very large quadrilaterals and a few other shapes welded together. For your task, I'd like you to look very closely at each sculpture. These are actually three-dimensional shapes, but I'd like you to imagine them as if they were flat and two-dimensional. See if you can identify and name the shapes that are in each sculpture. Next, I'd like you to create a chart just like this on your own piece of paper. Then, as you look at each sculpture, draw the shapes that you see into the chart. I'd like you to include squares, rectangles, rhombuses, and any other quadrilaterals. If you see a shape that is not a quadrilateral, don't include it on your chart. As you're drawing, you'll need to think very carefully about the shapes that you see. A square always looks like a square, but if you see a rectangle, you'll have to think, is this one long and skinny? Is it short and fat? Or is it somewhere in between? By the time you're finished, hopefully you'll see a whole variety of different quadrilaterals. Finally, I'd like you to consider how these sculptures were constructed. Imagine the tools and equipment that would have been necessary to cut and lift and connect all of these pieces of metal. Also, look at the surface of the metal. Do you see how David Smith made them look shiny and reflective, and in some cases even wobbly? I wonder what tools he used to create that pattern on the surface of the metal. This activity addresses third grade Visual Arts Standard 3.V.R.1, which asks students to contemplate about the processes an artist used to create a work of art. It also addresses third grade Math Standard 3.G.1, which asks students to understand that shapes in different categories may share attributes, and that the shared attributes can define a larger category. For example, quadrilaterals with rhombuses, rectangles, and squares as examples of quadrilaterals.